Hello, everyone, and welcome to part one of our look back at highlights from the current series, in which we ask, why does Tom Hanks have no hair? Why has Hugh Grant been sniffing in dustbins? And can even Wonder Woman be defeated by a dodgy Zoom connection? Let's start the show! So, Series 28 started hopefully enough with a small studio audience. And we've even managed to get an audience in. Look at you, yay! Or, as we put it on the safety form, a grouse shooting party. OK. But soon, everyone had to watch from home. Now, we want you to make lots of noise tonight, OK? Yeah, but try not to have family arguments or loud sex. As we slipped back into lockdown. Yes, we're back in Tier 3. It's the best one. It's the best. But hey, it's nearly Christmas. Time to sing those traditional songs. The one day of Christmas, no mistletoe and wine. And I saw Mummy kissing Santa Claus because she's a filthy super spreader. And the guests got used to our new socially distanced set. So, welcome to our strange chat arena. Jennifer, you like this. You like the not walking out and having to meet people.
I don't like it being quite so spacious, but I don't like a walk-on. I find that quite intimidating. And then the endless kissing that happens. I'm quite unhappy in lockdown because you don't have to hug everyone. And you can leave a room by saying goodbye. I mean, I know, especially on this show at the end, and I'm thinking, stop kissing everyone. The person who's done the music comes over, has to straddle Kenneth Branagh to kiss Judi Dench. All the time I'm thinking, we could have another red chair if you didn't do that.
Of course, in this new format, when Hollywood came a-calling, it was by Zoom. Yay!
Graham, nobody said that it was special sweater night.
Clearly they didn't. But you...
Why don't I just wear the flowers?
You've got a roaring fire. It looks nice and Christmassy.
It doesn't. It look. Watching the clip. I got flowers on it. Watching the clip. Yeah, comedy's terrible. Watching that clip, Michael, it looks like I'm in your kitchen.
That's what I just said to David. Why is George Clooney in my kitchen?
By the way, your wife says hello.
But here's the thing, George, because your father recently, he revealed this picture of you at 11. Now, if anyone at home is thinking, God, my children are so ugly, this is really cheery, because this 11-year-old grew into George Clooney. Yeah. Hope for all.
In fairness, we didn't have a lot of cash, and my mom cut my hair, and clearly that's not her skill.
She was in a hurry that day.
I mean, Ray Charles could have cut my hair better.
So, you're 11 in that picture, George. Were you already a prankster at 11? Were you one of those kids?
Yeah, I thought things were funny. I mean, I think, yes, I thought there were things that were funny to do. Got in trouble in school a lot, so I guess.
And I hear even your kids now, well, they're 3, they're already being pranksters.
Yeah, so look, my kids are clearly my wife's children, right? They are 3, and they speak fluent Italian, and they're way ahead. My wife's a genius. They're brilliant kids. It is my job to dumb them down. It's my job to put, the actor in them a little bit. And so I teach them horrible things because remember, it's only the 4 of us. So I just want to hear the shriek from my wife, and I know I've succeeded. I taught them to put Nutella in their nappy, and then go upstairs and take it off, and then pick it up and eat it.
Very good. Now, Dolly, am I right in thinking your first taste of Hollywood was Mission Impossible?
Yes, I was the lead role in Tom Cruise's Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so,
I was believing you. They believe you. They're clapping. They're clapping you. Think she's lying. No.
She is in it. But who did you actually play?
I played Women at Desk.
Now you remember. But did you... Because you were in the famous scene.
I was in the infamous scene.
Yeah, so this is Tom. This is where he broke his foot.
Yeah.
But now you're on the other side of the... You're in the window.
Yeah, you can sort of see... I think if you sort of zoom in a little bit more and you sort of keep zooming in, you can see that I'm sort of behind that window.
Were you really behind the window?
I was really behind the window giving the performance of a lifetime.
So what, is he flying to kick you?
Yeah, yeah. He's flying to congratulate me on my performance. Really well.
And then you shut the window and ruined his performance.
Yeah, yeah, he broke his ankle.
So he kicked the building and broke his ankle?
Yeah, he was supposed to land, but his foot slammed into the wall of the building. God. And then they had to stop production for months. But I got there in the end. Yeah.
Did you have to audition for Woman
I did, yeah. I had to go to an audition room and they said, like, OK, so pretend that you're at your desk and you're eating lunch, and then Tom Cruise slammed into the window. And so I was like...
Very good. Yeah, excellent. Very good.
Thank you.
And also, it must have been weird because you must have been hanging out with adults the whole time.
Yeah. Do you know what? I must say, when we did the take that audition, you know, the other guys arrived, and I knew I could sing well, but you know, they looked so cool. You know, they were dressed in what 19-year-olds. I came dressed like a magician. You know, I couldn't do any of the moves that... I mean, I really fell on the back foot. But luckily, I could sing. So as they were teaching me sort of how to be a 19-year-old, I was, you know, sharing my skills and saying, let's do harmonies or whatever. So it was definitely a two-way street.
But you were dressed as a magician because you had been a magician. When did the magician bit happen?
Well... The magician thing happened slightly younger. I think this is why I ended up wanting to play music, is because my dad was a pigeon fancier.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I hear you.
It was a thrilling childhood.
What the heck is a pigeon fancier?
Good question, Nadia.
Should I explain?
Yeah, please.
So my dad used to have this shed at the back of the house.
Oh, where's this story going?
And rather than going in there and you know, doing plants, he used to have these birds. And once a week, they'd take these birds off to, like, across the channel.
Yeah.
And they'd set them free and they'd fly home. And it was a race between all the people in our area whose bird arrived home first.
It's like being told a bedtime story by Gary Barlow.
Not a very good one.
It's great, it's great. You can carry on.
And it still happens, does it?
Yeah, but listen, my dad used to love it. It was his hobby and his passion. And so, yeah, I've never talked about this before.
Well, and you should, because it's fascinating.
They just saw...
Thank God there's no audience.
They just sold
Go
one
back
last
to the
week.
virtual audience.
Yeah.
It'll always just black screens.
I know.
Harry talked about pigeons for 20 minutes.
They just sold a racing pigeon last week for like 1.5 million.
Don't make it last longer.
1.5 million.
With your interesting pigeon facts.
Yeah. The good thing about pigeon fanciers is they tweet a lot. That's a shame.
Oh, dear. But lots of authors on the show tonight, and you'll all know how important presentation is for a book. You know, just sometimes a carelessly placed sticker can make a kid's book, well, less of a kid's book. Like this story, Tuck Me In. Oops. That's gone wrong. Little wonder this particular caterpillar is so popular. Yeah. It was as long as his body. Here's a twist on Little House on the Prairie. Well, you know, times were hard. Wagons didn't pay for themselves. And finally, just for clarification, this next book is actually called My Daddy is a Giant. Very good. Actually,
very good.
Did something similar happen to you?
Well, no, you know the bit on the television where it tells you about the programme, the little information box?
Oh, yes.
Well, I was doing the voiceover for It'll Be All Right on the Night, and the text was meant to say, David Walliams reveals his toe-curling cock-ups. But they didn't have enough room, so it just went, David Walliams reveals his toe-curling cock. May not be the prettiest one you've seen, but toe-curling. I mean, please.
The stars called in from different places and time zones.
It's Nicole Kidman, everybody! Hello, very nice to see you.
Hello. I'm in Sydney, Australia. 7:30 in the morning here.
Oh, wow. Well, you've outdone yourself.
Well, I wake up like this.
Of course you do. You're Nicole
These are my
Kidman.
pajamas.
And we got a sneaky peek at the home lives of the rich and famous.
It looks so sort of glamorous there.
Oh, yeah, it's lies.
And you're in Los Angeles. Is that your house?
I'm at my home, yes.
Okay. Just looking around.
The flowers behind me are dying.
Like us all. So this is your place outside New York?
Yes, this is, we're on our farm. This is my studio. It is the, as you can see, House of 1,000 Guitars.
Where do we find you this evening?
I'm in my office. My office downstairs in my building. It's the same building I live in, but I can't enter it through the building. I have to go outside and walk around the block, so it's kind of a commute.
I know it's in the middle of the day here because I'm in New York, but I thought that I should be having a whiskey or something, and I don't have any where I am right now. Also, I'm breastfeeding, so I know I should probably.
It's a little early to be drinking, but I do have a chalice
Cheers.
Of course, some stars made a special effort for us.
It's Christmas!
Here we are.
Hello. You built the set, Dolly?
Well, you know, anything for you, and we tried to make it look just like it.
That's beautiful, beautiful.
But on Zoom, we're all at the mercy of a dodgy connection, like when Wonder Woman Gal Gadot called in from Israel.
So nice to see you. You look like a ray of sunshine.
She does.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm delayed. This is so crazy with these virtual things. I'm gonna shut up and then I'm gonna wait until it's silent for me to talk. How's it going, Graham? Thank you for having me.
Good.
This is like when you used to do the Eurovision results.
There is a delay. So this movie sees you reunited with the director, Patty Jenkins. She did this one as well.
Yes, the one and only.
The delay makes me doubt everything I say. You're about to go, Patty who? And this is exciting for all of us because in this outing we get to see the invisible plane. Well, we didn't see it, obviously, it's invisible, but the invisible plane is in it. Is that a spoiler?
I don't think you're supposed to. I don't know what you're talking about, Graham.
Is that really?
I think it's a major spoiler. You just gave away a major spoiler. That's okay.
We might cut that out.
Warner Brothers will sue you, I guess.
We might cut that out.
Don't worry, the delay is so bad, it's been out for 2 years over it.
Oh, dear. And now, Nicola, Strictly, I mean, every year Strictly is lovely, but this year there was something about the return of Strictly. It was almost like you could feel the mood of the nation lifting. I mean, it's such a lovely show to have back on our channels. It must be lovely to be a part of it.
Yeah, it is. It's really good to be a part of it. And but you know the funny thing is they ask me every year, and every year I've said no, but because I've had training commitments or tournaments and stuff, and this year I was like, yeah, do you know what? We've got lockdown. There's nothing really going on. I'm gonna go for it. And I said I had two conditions. I said I wanted to dance with another woman, and I wasn't going to wear a dress. So...
So you had to dance with another woman? Because somebody's got to wear that dress.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you know, you must be aware of what it's like for kind of a young girl or young boy who, you know, feels different to see themselves on telly.
I didn't think it'd be such a big deal, you know, but I guess it is for some people, but I think... I guess you just have to always push the boundaries and just show people, you know, it is just two women dancing. Yeah. It's not, you know, a big deal.
Well, it's like most of these things, I think. It's a big deal till it happens.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
everyone's just like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
oh, that happened. Yeah.
The world didn't end. Everything's fine.
Yeah. There's Nicola and Katia being lovely, dancing.
Yeah.
The thing is, you've retired, haven't you? You've retired from boxing.
Yeah.
Yet you're still so young. Is there any little bit in your head where you're thinking, maybe I'll go back, I'll... You know, because a lot of boxers are tempted back into the...
Yeah. It's like... But no. Yeah, I've had enough. Like, I've literally won everything, so...
Yeah.
That's so cool.
There you go, yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. My work here is done.
Yeah.
And then, weirdly, strictly aside,
yes,
you write about your love of dance.
Well, that's right. I mean, the thing is, strictly of the ballroom in Latin, a very formal couples dancing, but I love the sort of the free form of dancing, you know, like just freestyle, jazz, interpretive dance.
Otie's throwing things at the television
Yes,
now.
she is. Actually, one of the funny things about Strictly is what they do, when you do the dance, you're mic'd up, and so they record all of what you're saying during the dance. And then they play it back to you afterwards. So they mute the microphone during the show, but then afterwards they play you what you're actually saying when you're doing the dance. And Otie was saying, legs, arms, legs. And I was just going, hey! Yay!
Actually, talking of which, I mean, the Strictly curse. Ashley, you're familiar. Everyone's familiar with the Strictly curse.
Yeah, I've heard of it, certainly.
Yes.
As curses go, it's one of the best. You know, Tutankhamun, I think that the man was bitten by an insect that gave him a flesh-eating disease and half his face fell off. Whereas the Strictly curse... it's not as bad.
It's almost like a reward.
Well, I've been offered Strictly a few times. The last time I was offered it, my partner suggested that I went on a lads' weekend to Amsterdam instead because there'd be less temptations.
Because, not to add fuel to the fire, because there are people going into it now and their partners might be watching this, but it's fair to say, if Shirley dances with someone, there is a high probability you'll marry them. I'm slightly exaggerating. Here's Nigel. You're only engaged to Nigel.
At 16, I got engaged to Nigel.
Oh, you're not... Well, you could be 16. He's not 16.
He was 4 years older than me, yeah.
Oh, OK.
Still with me today, still my dear good friend and my financial advisor, so remained in my life all these years. Very nice man.
Because not to be too indiscreet, but Nigel was your first.
Yes, he was.
And it's a romantic story, Shirley.
Don't make me say that.
Oh, come on, it's in the book. People will find out.
Well, it was just a first experience. We went to the Butlins holiday camp, and where him and I decided that we were in love. And so we packed up the bags and we went home. I lived with his family, and his mum was unpacking the bag and the condom wrapper fell out. And when we came home from school and work that day, she just stood with it like this. She was furious. She was 5 feet tall and she had black hair all the way up. And she looked at us like it was just the end of the world, and I was like this evil child that had slept with her son. And I didn't know what to say, actually. It was quite lovely.
Yeah, the big question is, why did he keep the wrapper? It's a strange souvenir.
Because we were both new, you know, both of us, it was our first experience.
Oh, so it was romantic, really.
It was.
You might have got it for Christmas.
That's probably in Nigel's scrapbook. I
think you might be right.
Hello, Ewan McGregor.
Hello.
Now, Ewan, you've done more dancing in films than I kind of remembered.
I've done a lot of dancing over the years. I mean, in drama school, we did a lot of dancing. I did Guys and Dolls on stage in the West End.
Oh, actually, I've got a picture of you in Guys and Dolls. Check this out, Shirley.
Yeah, I've seen that.
That looks impressive, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's very impressive. He's very sexy. He has a very sensual appeal.
He can hear you. He can hear you, Shirley.
Less impressive. It's less impressive for me, really, isn't it? Just holding a leg up. Than
It's definitely a 10 from me. I've seen you dance. You're very good.
I feel another marriage coming on.
Listen, on the subject of Arsene's old team, Arsenal, last week we had some distressing news. It was announced that Arsenal were making their mascot, the Gunnosaurus, redundant. Do you know Gunnosaurus? Of course you know Gunnosaurus.
Course.
Yes, of course. They work closely together.
Of course you do.
Everything that Gunnosaurus knows,
Yeah,
Arsène taught him
knows,
that. Yeah. The thing is, it's odd, you would think, that Arsenal would have Gunnosaurus, a dinosaur, as their mascot. But that is the world of mascots. So here's a good game, everybody. Guess the mascot from the football team. For example, what's the mascot for Southend United? OK, remember they were on the coast. What do you think?
Seagull?
Oh, seagull's a good guess. No. Huh? It is, of course, Sammy the Shrimp. There it is. It's either a shrimp or some sort of gay shark. What about Wigan? Does anyone know Wigan? You'll like Wigan's.
Wigan? Is it a pie?
Yes!
No, is it really?
It is a pie! It's Krusty the Pie!
Unbelievable.
Yeah!
That's the best mascot ever.
I know.
I bet that's a really grumpy person inside that very cheerful pie.
OK, here's an easy one. We'll give this to Arsène. We'll get this one.
Yeah.
The Scottish football team, Partick Thistle. What do you think their mascot is? Thistle.
I don't know what it is. What does it mean?
Well, it's a Scottish thorny flower, but you will be no wiser after seeing Kingsley the Thistle.
That is not a thistle.
It looks like Kenny the coronavirus. It's terrible. I mean, what a lovely photo op for children. Go and stand beside that. And finally, West Bromwich Albion. OK, come on, Arsène, you can get this one.
No, I don't know the name of the flowers in English.
No, it's West Bromwich Albion are the team.
The baggies. That's
the baggies. No, see, the baggies, they're called the baggies. They used to have a big bag to collect the takings in. OK, that's why they're called the baggies.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, West Bromwich Albion, the baggies, what do you think their mascot is?
I don't know.
Anyone?
A bag.
Bag.
No, it's a combi boiler. That's their mascot. I'm sensing they're sponsored. I don't...
Absolutely, that's ridiculous.
For some guests, it was a welcome chance for old friends to catch up again.
Hi, Jessie.
Hi, baby. I miss you, Em.
I missed you. You look beautiful.
Because the two of you, you're proper friends.
Proper friends. Not like Hollywood
Proper.
friends, like proper friends.
Oh.
Yeah. A few months ago, she was trying to get me to move to London, and I'm still thinking about it.
You should. It's been a whale of a time.
But do you live in London?
No, but we're here for a year.
Could you move away?
No, I said come and live here while I'm here, and then we can both go back to New York together.
But for some, the strains of lockdown were starting to show, even for a happy couple like Sam Jackson and his wife, Latanya.
Hi. Now, lovely to have you both together on the show. You've been together 50 years, married 40 years, but because of these odd times, is this the longest you've ever actually spent together?
We've spent this much time together a long time ago, but once he became famous, no.
How's it going?
Actually, pretty well. It's going very well. We've adjusted to the new norm.
I like we're getting an insight into your marriage just in a Zoom chat. But then I said earlier you've been married for 40 years, but oddly, I think I'm right in saying you never proposed, Samuel.
Did I? Mix up things. I want to hear this story. Go. You never proposed?
I don't remember. Well, I don't remember it actually. I do remember you having some invitations in your hand and saying this is when this is happening.
No, that's not what happened. No, I said my grandfather is very ill and he's going to die and he's very concerned that we are not married. So we have to get married now so that he can walk me down the aisle. That was his concern, that I was the last of his grandchildren not to be walked down the aisle in marriage. So we have to get married. So now you have to ask him if you may marry me, and then you have to ask me, will I marry you? And you did.
I did?
Yes, you did. Okay, you know what? It doesn't matter.
But the wedding itself...
That was the story.
It was all romantic. I got down on one knee and did the whole thing.
No, it was semantical, but, you know, we did
I didn't
do
say
it.
semantical, I said romantic.
You'll get through this. You'll get through this. You'll get through this.
Grandma needed that issue to deal with later on today.
They're still together. They're still together. It's all good. It's all good.
Man.
And lockdown, I mean, it's been so strange. I know I think in your flat, Vanessa, someone's been doing DIY. This isn't you doing DIY.
No, this is my brother.
Oh, okay.
It kind of sums up how good our family are at DIY.
Before I show you his DIY, how old is your brother?
He's 34.
OK, that sheds a new light on it.
His girlfriend asked him to put up like a towel rail thing. I don't even know what it's called, like a...
Yes, I doubt he does either.
I think it's called a towel rail.
Like a hook, like
yeah,
a...
so they're coat hooks. Coat hooks.
OK.
So, there's just so many things he got wrong in this. This is the coat hook thing he put up. I mean, wrong wood, too high. I mean, you either can't open that door or you can't shut it, one or the other.
He used a drill, which was worrying as well.
Yeah, I don't think that man should have a drill.
I still can't work out which way it should go.
Well, not that way. But I like the fact that he did that and then still went ahead and drilled it. Like, he didn't go, oh, that can't be right. He thought, that looks about...
No, I think he was quite confident. Plus, it's not really in the centre either, is it? So it's just...
I think that's the least of your worries. Centering is the least of your worries.
Does everyone come home and just throw their hats at it like James Bond? Like Sean Connery as James Bond, and it just helps?
And this is exciting because, you know, you've already done a season as Charles. Yeah. And you are brilliant. I mean, you're both
very much.
And Emma, you're about to hit the screens as Diana. And obviously, you know, as actors, you're getting into kind of, you know, the emotional truth of the scenes and all those things. But equally, you've got to be like Charles and Diana. So what are the shortcuts to get into, say, Charles? What are the shortcuts?
Right.
It goes right.
Okay. Get ready.
Poke him with a
Strap
stick.
in.
Spitting image, off we go.
OK. So there's a couple of things that I sort of... I mean, I didn't spend too long kind of dwelling on the little Charles things. But there was one thing I noticed that every time he got out of a car, he'd do this thing... Still does it now. I saw something recently where anyway, he gets out of the car and he goes, cufflink. So he goes, checks the cufflink, checks his pocket square, and then waves. So every time he goes to a public event or anything, it's cufflink, pocket square.
I wonder if he's ever not had his pocket square and then it's completely floored him. He doesn't know how to move.
Back in the car.
Sounds like an Nadal serve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Slightly less than.
Yeah. Without the grunt when he waves. Yeah.
And he does speak in a very kind of... because it must have been hard not to just do an impression, because people do impressions of him.
I think so much about The Crown is sort of doing a bit of that sort of work. I don't know what you think, Emma, but I think it's kind of finding little things that make people feel safe in the knowledge that you're not just doing something random performance.
Different.
But you feel like it is, you recognise something of Charles. So with Charles, for instance, he does a thing... he does a thing with his voice where he sort of, like, speaks like this. So everything's, like, through teeth.
Yes.
You know, yeah, and actually Emma's amazing at it. Emma's so good at it. We have competitions who could do better Charles and Diana, and I'm rubbish at Diana, but she's very good at Charles.
What are the shortcuts for Diana?
Diana's, for her voice, is mainly that everything sort of goes down at the end. So her pattern of speech, so it's sort of like... Well, my word to get into her was always like, all right. All right. Yeah. That's just what I'd say before everything, all right. But then everything she says sort of always goes down at the end, so it's almost like even if she had the best time ever, it would always sound a little bit sad.
That is very good, isn't it? Very good.
You're good at it, though.
I used to spend most of my time trying to perfect my all right.
Oh, do it.
Hang on.
You do it with a tilt, though, head tilt.
All right. Thank you.
Oh,
yeah.
That's not as good.
reading about your career, you can never tell. You know, no one tries to make a bad film, and you can never tell. Like, didn't you think Four Weddings and a Funeral you thought was a dud?
Yeah. Yes, I did. I went to see it in a... It wasn't really fair, because the only time I saw it, really, was all by myself in a cinema in Paris, where there wasn't anyone to laugh with, and all I could see was me. And again, that's another film that should be called Fiona and her love of hats, as far as I'm concerned. So, you know, just watching it with no one there and not finding the jokes particularly funny. And then I was going to do promotion, and I was on a plane, and they were showing this film, and just the laughter going through the film. It was in the days when everybody had to watch the same film.
Oh, yeah.
So everyone was sitting there with enormous headphones on, laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing, and all watching this film. So I thought, oh, well, maybe I was mistaken. Maybe it is quite good.
It's going to be a
hit.
hit.
You were good in it.
No.
OK. Because if you were like, yeah, it was crap, but I nailed it.
That rarely happens, sadly. I wish there were things that you thought, oh, God, I'm so good in that. But it doesn't really happen.
And Nicola, it's so lovely to see you. First time, welcome.
Yes, thank you for having me.
First time, welcome. Very nice. And because your accent is so, you know, good in Derry Girls, but you're not from Northern Ireland.
Yeah, you can feel the palpable sense of disappointment when people meet me. And they go, oh, you're not Claire. And I go, no, I'm really sorry. Yeah, I'm just a faker.
But now, do you have a trick to get into it, do you?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was preparing, I didn't know a Derry accent, first off, and then I thought, who do I know? And then I thought, oh, Nadine from Girls Aloud is extremely Derry. And then, I don't know if people will know this, but there was an extremely controversial incident in the early noughties in Ireland.
So good!
It was so good. I think it was the first Irish sort of pop culture TV moment. It was Pop Stars, the Irish version, which only had about 50 entrants, because we don't have as big a population. So she went on and lied about her age. But she got found out on camera.
Stop it.
Yes.
No. Oh, no, YouTube it. It's so good.
Lean forward.
Wow.
This is the trick.
How old was she? How old was she?
OK, so she'd gotten into the band, and then her on-camera interview, like the first one to introduce yourself, who you are, she said, my name's Nadine Coyle from Larkhill and Derry, date of birth 15th of 6th, 85, Mechamia, Germany. And then she thinks for a second and goes, what date of birth did I say? No, 15th of the 6th. And then it fades. And she's outed herself on camera. But everyone lost the plot.
Do the phone call to her mother.
Do everything. Mommy,
do the whole thing.
Has Daddy put my passport in the car? Mommy, will you look at my handbag for my passport? And it was all a lie. She knew.
How old was she?
She was 16. She was meant to be 18.
I'm shocked about how old they all are. Because I met your mate with a dark O once.
Jamie Lee.
Jamie Lee, yeah.
Yes.
She came up to me once and I think I spoke to her like a child. Hello, how are you then? How old are you then? She went, 8:33.
For the guests in the studio, it was a welcome chance to get out of the house and dress up a bit. Can I just say, well done on everyone getting the Christmas memo. It's very... I mean, I think you got the memo twice, Daisy.
Oh, God.
No, you look very Christmassy. It's nice.
And I tell you what, I managed to pack the Christmas stuff, but I've got two left boots. Actually, so I've had to wedge my foot into them.
You have two pairs? Do you have two pairs of the same?
Yeah, I've got two pairs the same, but as you can tell, the laces, they're completely different.
It's either that or just really bad shoplifting. I mean, this is Dress Up Friday.
I went all out.
Yeah.
I hadn't left the house. I had to make an effort. It's the first time we've been able to.
I wore my sandals.
You do look like you're trying to prove you don't have a verruca or COVID toe.
You're welcome. I thought I'd make myself at home, you know, but now looking at you lot, I'm like, I do look like I'm here as part of the outreach programme. It is what it is, isn't it?
You look amazing. I love what you're wearing.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's vintage. I'm sure it's got some stories of its own to tell.
Wow.
What disco nights has it had?
Well, if there's a wardrobe malfunction, there's no one here to see it, so you're fine.
I'll be honest with you, I thought this was by Zoom. I've regretted it. I've regretted it for the last hour. But, you know, when you make a choice, you have to just go for it. So here I am.
Tom Allen looking so smart this evening.
Thank you very much. That's very nice of you to say.
But you always have.
Well...
this is from your school yearbook. This is Tom Allen in his school yearbook. It could be World War II.
Well, thank you. A very elegant era in so many ways.
That was the 90s, Tom.
I know, yeah. I know. And I was still made to go to lessons where I was taught about, like, how not to get a girl pregnant. I mean, what a waste of time.
Love your outfit.
Thanks. Diamonds, babe.
Oh, stunning. For me.
They can stay with you if you want.
For me, please.
Such a flirt. Stop it, man.
Oh, it all started at the Graham Norton show.
I'm not quite sure how to sit in this dress. Here we go. We'll give this a go. Let's see how it...
It looks like a Christmas bauble. It's a Christmas come early. It's just so lovely and sparkly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My dad always used to tell me that every time I left the house, I looked like a Christmas tree. There was always something. I either had, like, a massive bow on my head or just something, and he was just like, maybe take one thing off, at least.
I did that whole performance with my flies down, by the way. I just thought I'd let you know. You know what? Rudolph was about to pay a visit.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. But hey, there's always one, isn't there? And Jamie Dornan, party clothes in the wash.
Party clothes are in the wash, yeah.
He's saying your brown sweater is a bit... like...
Even you, Fernie Whittingstall, look at him. He ironed a shirt.
Very festive.
I don't even have a defence to this.
You just thought that was good enough?
These are suit trousers, they'll have, you know.
Tweed pants.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of a Zoom outfit.
Yeah.
I'll wear my smart trousers and an old jumper. You haven't really thought through television. Hello, Tina Fey.
Hello, Graham Norton. How are you?
I'm very well. I know in lockdown, your daughters have become sort of gourmet chefs.
Yes, they prepared some dinners for us. My husband's a good cook, but he got a break from them a couple times. We did some themed dinners. We did like a Victorian night dinner. We did a Mexican fiesta, and we did the best one though was they did an airline dinner for us, where they set up all the chairs. It was a dream actually, because they set all the chairs like fit one behind the other, no one facing anyone else, and they brought us like warmed nuts on a tray, and they didn't. Children don't understand how much wine is too much wine to pour.
I'm an adult.
The glass of wine was like filled to surface tension.
You sent some pictures of this evening. I mean, they really went all out. Everyone had a window seat.
Yeah, everyone got a window seat. We put a picture of an airplane window on the TV. They made stewardess costumes for themselves.
Oh, let's see the stewardess costumes.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
And that's too much wine.
And then, is this the same evening where they put the reading materials in the back of the...
Yeah, they put magazines. They shoved magazines in the back of the chair. We put headphones on like a plane, and we ate in silence, and it was the best night we had in like 7 weeks.
It's the way forward. It's the way forward. Now, how was your lockdown? Because you got it, didn't you?
I got it, and I was very brave and manly about it. Yeah, I got it. I got it back right at the beginning. At least I didn't know what it was. It felt like flu, a little mild flu, and then suddenly, yeah, a complete, rather alarming loss of smell, which did culminate in me, you know, panicking and sticking my head in dustbins, sniffing, thinking there must be something here, and then spraying myself in the face with my wife's Chanel No. 5, and smelt nothing, but went blind.
And how long did it last for?
Well, the flu lasted for nothing, for 3 or 4 days, but the sense of smell was weeks.
Really?
Yeah, well, that was slightly alarming. Did it stop you being interested in eating at all when you couldn't I've smell? never been very interested in eating, is the truth. But was it difficult to eat without any smell? Well, it was a little dull. It was a little dull, but then I was cooking because it was lockdown, so it was never going to be delicious. So maybe it was good.
Yes, it was.
I cooked every single night for 3.5 months a baked potato. That was it. Well, baked potatoes, I love a baked potato.
What do you put on them?
Cheese. Grated cheddar.
For 3 months.
The way you said cheese there was like that was a new discovery. Actually,
I'm a little quirky chef. But cheese.
Maybe baked beans if you're feeling flashy.
And Ramesh, lockdown, wife and children. How many kids do you have now?
3 boys.
3 boys?
Yeah.
So was it happy families throughout, or...?
No,
because just before lockdown, I was away a lot doing travel shows and stuff, and I think that my wife and kids were when the lockdown happened, they were like, well, at least we're going to see more of you. That's great. And I think the gloss came off me in a big way as a father and a husband. I mean, they really did get fed up with me. I think my wife was phoning the BBC asking them to commission a new travel show. To be honest with you. It's difficult. We both had teaching backgrounds, and so, you know, people sort of think that the homeschooling will be easier if you've done... But I just don't think kids can respect you in a teaching way if they've seen you taking a shit. You know, I think all of your authority is gone.
Listen, Viola, you know, we've been talking about lockdown. You went full lockdown. You got the dog.
I got the dog, Graham, and let me tell you something. Before that time, I said, we are not having any dogs in this house. We're going to have a pristine house. I'm not picking up dog shit. I'm not doing anything. But let me tell you, the minute that puppy came, I'm up at 3 in the morning with my hazmat suit, picking up doggy poop, kissing this puppy. It has been an elixir. It's just eased my anxiety.
It's good, isn't it? It takes you... You have to worry about something else. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, when I'm wiping his ass, that's another story. I mean, and I'm a very serious and passionate and committed ass wiper.
But now, in lockdown, we've all had challenges, and Daisy May Cooper, you love a challenge. You love a challenge.
Wow.
No, this, I think... So you saw this... was it on Instagram or Facebook you saw this challenge here? Are you a real woman? Can you pass the pen on the boob challenge?
Yes, I found that on Instagram, and I thought, I've got to take that on.
And I'll just say, Daisy May Cooper, she did pass that test, and then some. Here she is. But now, the other pictures we have, did people send them to you?
So it just kind of went mental, and I think people were just really, really bored. And it got, I mean, I don't know what you've got to show, but my favourite one was a woman sent me a picture of an entire car parcel shelf under her tit. Wow. It's just insane. How strong are they?
We've got a nice lady here. She's got the entire Godfather collection and Lord of the Rings. And then this woman, I mean, this woman can fly Ryanair anytime. Look at that.
Wow. God.
That's impressive, isn't it?
Yeah. Now that's a rack.
Thank you. Oh, you've been working in lockdown. That's very good.
Oh, look at the social distancing there. So responsible.
Oh, we are. We are. We know how you get it now, so...
Well, be careful.
Now, what... You're working in Australia, so what are you working on?
I am working on Baz Luhrmann's movie about Elvis Presley. Austin Butler is playing Elvis Presley. And here, let me show you the horrible haircut I have to have in order to portray Colonel Tom Parker. Okay. Check out this horrible. Okay. Can you see that? No. Look at that thing.
Down. Wait, sit down.
There we go. I just scared the children. I want to apologize.
We've dropped the ball on New Year's Eve.
What I really want to do is just have a little tuft of hair right here and then a big beard, and then everybody would think I'm Graham Norton.
Yes! It's uncanny. You can play me in the biopic.
Well, now evidently that's my gig now, so I only play real people in show business.
Well, now, you've got a new film for us, and it's a proper Western. I mean, we see Tom Hanks gun-toting, which we rarely see.
Well, I don't wear one. I am given one later on, so it's not like, you know, I'm not doing the rootin' tootin' kind of thing. But I ride a horse, and I drive a wagon, and I've discovered. So I'm not a rider per se, but I did learn. I had got to know a fabulous horse named Wimpy, who was my horse. Wimpy was my horse, and I don't know if anybody here has ridden a lot or made a Western. Emily has a couple of Westerns under her belt, as I recall. Emily, my darling, how are you?
How are you?
So wonderful to see you.
It's good to see you.
Emily Blunt.
Do you know I'm about to do a Western? Like, next January, I'm doing a 6-part Western, and we were just discussing how allergic I am to horses, and I do every scene with a horse, you know. I'm going to be antihistamined up to my eyeballs.
Do you have to kiss the horse?
I do.
Isn't
that what happens in Westerns? You make out with your horse?
You develop an affection for those beasts.
You and Wimpy
kinda,
were very close.
Every morning you throw your arms around Wimpy and say, how are you, my darling little chestnut? I'm so nuts about you. Which you sort of have to do, because I have a feeling that horses, honestly, they would much rather live in a world without human beings climbing on top of them.
And they know the moment you climb on their back that you're terrible at riding. Like, I mean, I've been learning right now. I'm in London now rehearsing for it, and I go riding 3 times a week, and every time they give me a different horse to see, you know, how you fare.
Oh.
With one that's more sprightly or one that's less of a Ferrari. And I got on one the other day called Rusty. My God, it almost took off with me. It was terrifying. I couldn't walk the next day. Rusty did me in.
Rusty did her in.
Rusty did me in.
Oh, wow. Is that the name of the film?
You've already Riddick's is here, and now you have just introduced your... But a teenage son.
Yeah, my son, Freddie, he's 17 years of age, he's a film student, so he takes film extremely seriously. And he's like in that kind of passionate new cinema or old cinema, but anti-Hollywood vibe, you know? So he really likes films where there are, in black and white with subtitles, where there are 2 people carrying a piano into the sea, or a horse walking along an open stretch of Nordic landscape. But he makes an exception. Forrest Gump is one of his favourite films. Road to Perdition, he absolutely loves. So you get the alternative respect. You get that art house respect from a 17-year-old passionate young filmmaker.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's lovely. I'm so glad we kept the scene where Forrest carries that piano into the ocean. Glad that made the final cut.
Beautiful. And now, Nish Kumar, I know you are a Tom Hanks fan, but something particular you wanted to ask Tom tonight.
I'm a huge fan, to the extent that I've done my hair up like you in Castaway. Mr. Hanks, first of all, I just wanted to say I love you. Secondly, you are the only person, without disrespecting any of our wonderful panel, you are the only person in show business who my parents respect. And they have had some qualms over my choice of career as a stand-up comedian. And it would really help me out if you could say to them on camera, Mr. and Mrs. Kumar, Ajit and Beena, if you're feeling informal, your son Nish has made adequate life choices and is going to be fine.
Look, your parents respect me.
Absolutely.
Because I tell the truth. Because I tell the truth, my friend. You're asking me to stretch credulity a little bit too far.
This may be your most challenging role.
Now, if, say, you could by any chance get one of those little watch dramas on the BBC 4, in which you play a guy who carries a piano into the ocean, Ajit and Beda will only sleep well when you're in a black and white film carrying a piano. Now, I'm not saying it can't be funny. You are a fantastic stand-up comedian. Load it up with all the jokes you want to, but make sure it's in black and white with subtitles, carrying a piano into the ocean, and then you'll be able to do no wrong with those parents.
Very good. Tom Hanks, probably the best chat show guest in the world. Join me next week for a look back at the second half of this series. But I'll leave you tonight with this impromptu musical performance by the new champion of Strictly, the great Bill Bailey.